Okay. Let me just check in with you guys. So yeah, if I'm over here in New Zealand right now, still in New Zealand, but this is my last few days here. So I thought this would be a good time to do a last call for the lucky draw. And with any luck, I'll actually have the lucky draw next weekend. Let's see, let's just check in. Who's there? Hold on, let me just check in with you guys. Greetings. Yes, I'm still here in New Zealand. I'm still here in my makeshift office. So, this is where we do stuff. Let's have a look. Robin's Realms. Oh, hello, Sarah. From Tripoli. Benghazi. Did I get it right this time? It's either Benghazi or Tripoli. Okay. Yes, good question, Love Triber. We are heading into the Pisces new moon. So if anybody feels as though everything's very, very soft and they're very tender and it feels like it's the end of a cycle and they kind of want to just hibernate and you're feeling super hypersensitive, that would be normal. I'm very sensitive to the lunar cycles, and as they crest, the waxing and the waning, when I get right to the very end of the waning phase, I tend to go very, very quiet, soft. I get very insular, I get protective, and I just want to hide from the world. And that would be normal for anybody, really. Maybe some people don't notice. I know, I feel it very strongly. Hello, Robin. Hello, Love Triber. Hello, Sarah. And who else I just saw? Incognito. Got it. Yeah, so there we go. Let's see who else has shown up here. Benghazi. See, I got it right. Lumination live in Benghazi. How about that? So the channel is officially not dead yet. So I hope you're all doing well. Yes, over here it is the end of another lunar cycle. In a few hours, 12, 24, 36 hours, we're going to be moving into the Pisces new moon. So, however that works for you guys, obviously make the best of it. I know it's a very important new moon for myself. So I'm doing my best to roll with the energy, like stay in the groove, like surf that wave. Yeah. Oh, Love Triber just got home from the market. Well, what kind of market was that, Love Triber? Was that let's call it one of those markets inside a casino? Was that a crystal market? Was that a thrift store market, or what do they call them? Antique market, okay? Oh, like a market, like Trader Joe's, yeah. Prices going up and up and up on food. Well, maybe the prices are increasing on food because maybe supplies are in short demand from China now. Sure, the world is going crazy because of the coronavirus. I'm not going to get into politics or anything about it, but I can see it happening here. It's having a huge impact on the economy, okay? For some people. Some people are getting destroyed. Like there are a bunch of Chinese restaurants here that are just getting wiped out because they've had no customers. Oops. Okay. Robin's Realms has a Pisces moon, and so Robin is all alone with these swoony energies. You're not alone. Robin, you've got Lumination. I'm deep in the swoony energies. Don't you worry. I know what you're talking about. Yes, Sarah, that good point, Sarah. This Pisces new moon is actually very, very sweet for some people, especially when you add in all that Capricorn energy and the Pisces energy. There's a ton of Capricorn and there's a lot of Pisces. 4 or 5 Capricorns and at least 3 Pisces, and it's just going to get stronger. It's very, very rich, supportive energy. So we might as well take advantage of it, no matter what sign you are, okay? So we've got 2 Scorpios here, Sarah and Robin's Realms. And Love Triber, I believe you're an Aquarius, and we're just coming out of the Aquarius moon. Incognito. Let's have a look. Okay, well, we don't have to say anything. Incognito is going to be incognito, okay? No, what? What's that? Love Triber, what's that? There's a book by Dean Koontz written in 1981 all about a coronavirus outbreak in the year 2020. No way. Seriously? Seriously? Queen of Water just got back from a Reiki treatment. So you're doing like a three-dimensional healing, you know, energy healing, and now you're hanging out with us for online tarot illumination digital healing. Why not? Okay? That's really cool. I wish Mona was here because her husband does long distance Reiki all over the world. He's a Reiki, he's like an energy healer, and he does healing energy anywhere in the world. Okay? Very cool. So, let's have a look. Robin sent Reiki to a gentleman in South Africa last night. There you go. Yeah. Hey, Starzy, I see you. How are you doing? Okay, everybody, yeah, have to remind me where you are again, Starzy. I think I know. Queen of Water is in Melbourne. Robin is in Oklahoma or Texas. I can't remember. Love Triber's in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what's that? Your eyes change color. Whoa. I've never had that myself. But I've had some strange experiences with my eyes in healing, yes. Sarah's busy with her masters. Masters in what? Masters in what? Excuse me, I had a little tickle up my nose there. I'm very curious. I'm very curious, Sarah, about your masters. I'm not very academic myself. I failed everything. Uh-huh. Starzy, Illinois. Okay. All right. We have a few Love Tribers around the Illinois and the Chicago area. Of course, I'm not, hearing too much because I'm hardly doing anything on the channel anymore right now. And so there's very little interaction. But yeah, we have a bunch of people over in the Chicago, Illinois area. Queen of Water's eyes go deeper blue when she gets Reiki. And Love Triber says the book is called Eyes of Darkness. I'm almost tempted to Google it right now. But let's just take your word for it. 1981 forecast to 39, 40 years later. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for Dean Koontz. Well done, Dean. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's a coronavirus in 2020, predicted in 1981. Okay, that's just freaky. That's just freaky. I think of it as astrological timing. None of it surprises me, frankly. None of it. Oh. I know of that. The drink water with the crystals in the water. I've done that. I've actually had samples of it, and I see it as like a healing thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll start putting crystals into my little tiny whiskey shot glasses. It's just a suggestion, just an idea. All right. So the thing is that I'm doing this little video because it's the weekend here. It's actually Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Oh, I see your notes, Queen of Water. Yeah, and because I've been very busy here with other things, trying to start a new life. I'm still trying to keep the Tarot Illumination channel, the Tarot Illumination brand going until we transition into something new. Okay. Hey, Fritelli, I see you. And so I put up a little offering about almost a month ago for tickets for Lucky Draw. Now, a bunch of you have already bought tickets, and that's great. For those of you who are not aware, there is a lucky draw going on right now. Hi Tina, what's going on? I see you. Tina and Frittoli are here. They're both here. So basically it's a... What? It's your birthday on the 23rd. That's tomorrow. Wow. So you're Pisces. My gosh, it's almost like a new moon. New moon Pisces birthday girl. Wow. Wow. Hey Starzy, get in touch with me, okay? Write in, okay? I'll tell you why. Happy birthday, by the way. So the reason I'm doing this video, it's like a last call for the lucky draw tickets, okay? So if anybody hasn't got a ticket and they want a ticket, it's about $5 American or about $7 New Zealand. And you can go to the link below this video, or you can go to tarotlumination.com and it'll take you to the place to buy tickets. So, what? Oh, Tina. It's funny, we have a birthday and a death all on pretty much the same day. You know, wow. I don't know what to say, Tina. It's going to be quite a drive. Are you going to stay over until they do like a ceremony, like a farewell ceremony? What do they call it? A send-off, a funeral or something? Wow. Huh. I'm going to make some notes on the stage. I'll be right back. Stay there. Okay, so we got the new moon on the 23rd. I'll just show you over here. I don't know if you can see that. The camera's not good enough here. But we've got a new moon coming on the 23rd. It's a Pisces new moon with the Pisces sun. It's a very, very luscious, supportive angles between Pisces and Capricorn right now. I wonder if I should make a doodle. Sorry, Tina. So you can check in with everybody. Check in with everybody about the your trip and your stepdad moving on. Oh, did Topaz just arrive? I don't think I saw you earlier. Hello, Topaz. I see you. Anyway, this is the Pisces energy is very kind of haphazard for me right now. Oh no. That's terrible, Tina. I'm really sorry about that. Ew. It's funny because I've already planned it all out. I already have a living will made. And I'm going to be around likely for decades to come. So it's really good to nail down those things in advance, because otherwise it leaves your heirs at a loose end, not knowing what to do. It's very difficult not to have a succession plan or not to have a living will of some kind. It creates a lot of problems. I hope you guys sort it out. I'm just going to make some notes here while you guys are all checking in. Sarah, that is really cool. Masters in Petroleum Engineering, that is really freaking cool as far as I'm concerned. I know for a lot of people oil is the big enemy, but frankly, the whole of the global economy depends on oil, so you can't really knock it, can you? Anyway, this video, actually I'll put it this way. This live stream video is all about last call Okay, I'm just going to spell it out. Last call for the lucky draw. You see? I don't have my colored pens with me, so I can't do much more than what I'm doing right now. Okay, but this is what it's all about here in this video. Okay, so that's it, people. I'll be happy to, pull some cards if anybody wants one. I didn't really plan for it, but you're welcome. I need Super Chat as much as I always did. So yeah, if anybody needs a reading, I'll be happy to do some Super Chat. Right now, all I'm doing is promoting a last call for the lucky draw. If you're not aware of it, you can go to Lumination.com and that will explain everything. It'll take you straight to the lucky draw. It's basically you pay a few dollars for a chance to have a winning ticket, and the winner gets a full on commercial, professional, in-person, one-on-one complex reading with Lumination, and your reading is recorded and you keep the file. Okay, so again, chat amongst yourselves. I just want to make this now forever, whoever's watching, if you don't know about it, or if you haven't got a ticket yet, or if there's any people watching who've never done this before, there's a last call for lucky draw tickets, and the idea is that the winner gets a full-on reading with Lumination. Tickets are super cheap, super affordable. It's a great deal, it's a great opportunity. So check the link below on the video or go straight to Lumination.com and you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? So, yeah, I'll just sit here for a second. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. So it looks like it's a very, very serious conversations, kind of serious conversations going on in the chat there. So I don't want to overlay it or interfere too much. I'm going to send a note to Tina Miller if you want. Okay. Okay, I got it, Tina. We'll work on that. And while we're doing it, I'd like to offer a birthday reading. Who was it who had their birthday today or tomorrow? It's on the new moon. Somebody here has a birthday, basically right now. Who was that? Hey, Lena. Hi, Lena. Whose birthday is it? I know somebody typed it in. Whose birthday is that? Oh. Thank you, Topaz. Cool. So we get a 1 and a 1. So you're doing the pay forward thing for somebody gets a lucky one. Okay, I gotta make some notes here. Hold on, stay there. Oh, Starsy, it's you with the birthday. You're the Pisces girl. Okay, hold on. Let me catch up. I'll go to the stage a minute. All right. So let's not worry about this right now. We're going to just jump straight into some readings while we're here. Take advantage of the moment. Actually, I'll just slide this over a little bit. We've already sold about 20 tickets, and in theory, I have about 7 or 8 more tickets to sell. But if we don't sell any more tickets, it's not the end of the world. I'll just wrap up the sale, and we'll just go straight into the lucky draw. Probably, I don't know, it might be one evening this week, or it might be all the way until next weekend. We'll see. Okay. All right, I'm just going to make some post-its over here because Tina wants a heavy-duty reading for, let me just check in again. Tina thank you for the super chat. So we're actually going to do like a 2-in-1 for the trip. the trip itself, and the coming week. Okay, so we got that. And we're going to put something over here. What was that? What was the other one? Topaz. Topaz wants a reading and another one for someone else. So Topaz Zen is looking for some feedback. Okay. And then I'm going to put a note over here. We're going to fill in the blank for someone who deserves it. We'll figure out how to do that in a moment. And we'll say thank you over here. Thanks, Topaz Zen. So we have a box here. We're going to fill in the name. And then we're going to do a birthday reading for Starzy. Da 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 da. Nice. Oh, this is cool. I'm really glad I came on to do this little video. I'm making a cupcake here for you. There you go. So there's your cupcake. It's actually a layer cake, as you can see. I know it looks more like a hamburger, but it's actually a layer cake. Probably chocolate mixed with chocolate. And probably like a vanilla icing on top. Something like that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Sarah Al-Sheikhi is already raising her hand to be considered as one of the lucky beneficiaries of the reading. So this is where all the excitement is, people. It's the empty box here. Who's going to get that reading? At the moment, let's do a little shake up. We could do something. Well, Starzy, I'm going to get you I'm going to give you a freebie anyway, just because it's your birthday. So, okay, who's out there? Who especially? Okay, just here's the thing. You know, I like to do this. If there's anybody out there who is a complete, utter newbie, you've never been here before. You might have been here before, but you've never checked in, and you've got you're like a lurker. You're a silent supporter, and you want to actually dive into the deep waters of Tarot Lumination. Then this is your moment, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Sarah wants to be put into the lucky dip. Okay, I'm going to do a miniature lucky dip soon. Watch this. Sarah Shaiki, okay. Question mark, question mark. So Sarah, what I'm going to do is take your Post-it note and scrunch it up, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for, you see it's sitting right there. I'm going to wait for a newbie, an utter newbie. Hello, dear viewers. Is there anybody out there who is a complete, utter, brand new viewer? If so, we are all daring you to type in your name in the screen and introduce yourself, okay? We're waiting. We're waiting. Okay? I'll show you. See? Right here, waiting. Tick tock. Tick tock. Okay, I can see Lena. I can see Tina, Queen of Water. Queen of Water is going on live on her channel soon. Okay, so I'd like to get three options, three possibilities. Okay, so Sarah already wants to be in the lucky dip for the courtesy reading over here, but I'd like to connect two more preferably complete newbies. Let me please start. You know how I like to do this? It's kind of like a fun thrill for me. Any complete, utter newbies, now is your moment. This is your moment. Take advantage of the moment. Have the courage to live in the now. I dare you. We all dare you. Type it in. If there's nobody here, okay, no worries about it. But if you are, now is the time. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Ivona. Yay, good to see you. This is just a promotional video for the last remaining few tickets for the lucky draw. But in the meantime, a few people put some money in the super chat because they wanted readings. And so I said, okay. All right. So basically, there's a few people still checking in. All right. So hello, 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 hello. Okay. All right. I can see you all. Hello. Again, I'm going to put out another call. If there's anybody out there who is like never done it before, and you're just getting this as a random video notice that came up on your, your notifications, and you're intrigued, please check in, okay? And you'll see why once you check in, okay? But that's the dare. You got to check in to find out, okay? You can do it. Oh my gosh. You know what? I got very, very sentimental this morning because it's the end. It's the very, very tippy tail end of the lunar cycle coming out of Aquarius. So I took it quite personally, and now we're heading into the new moon in Pisces coming up very soon, and it's a really important one for myself personally. And I started getting very sensitive and very sentimental about the when we were really rolling and everything was really crazy here at Terra Lumination, we were talking about having a retreat. I feel very sad about that, and that it kind of never happened. I don't know if it ever will. We'll see. But I would still love to have a situation or a way that we could all hang out on a real campfire in a real location. So, I'm still open to it. Like, I tried to get lots of members. I was trying to get 100 members or 200 or 300 or 500 members, which I thought was a reasonable, goal, a reasonable mission to achieve. And then, of course, the channel basically got destroyed, and so that was the end of that whole thing. But I'm still very sentimental about having a place where we could all hang out and have real campfires and real meetings, Who's that? Oh, Robin. Robin wants something for the upcoming week. Hold on, let me go to the stage. Okay, Robin. Let's have a look. Robin's Realms readings. Okay. Messages for the upcoming week. I'll put it like that. For upcoming week. There we go. Oh, Lena, I'm sorry. No, I've got yours, Tina. I've got it. You're here. You're here already. Tina, you're already checked in. You already checked in with a mega super chat. So don't worry. I got you, Tina. Okay? Your super chat is right here. Topaz is over here. Topaz backup pay it forward is over here. Starzy's going to get a freebie because it's her birthday. And Robin's Realms has got hers right here. Okay? Super duper. Right now, dear Sarah, you've got no competition. You've made it very clear that you want a reading and probably you deserve one. I'm just seeing if we can find any newbies. We'll see. So I'm going to put you over there for now, all right, Starzy? Excuse me, Sarah. That's probably Sarah, okay? Okay, let's just call it that. This is going to be Sarah. All right, we'll forget it, okay? I'm just going to put Sarah in here. Sarah A. Alright, that's it. I'm not even going to bother to open this. You just got lucky, Sarah. That's all there is to it. Very simple. Okay? And so here's what we'll do. I am personally really making the best of this Mercury retrograde. I'm actually benefiting, okay? No, it's right here, Tina. Don't you worry. Money's right here. Money's here, here, and here. Starsy gets a freebie. That's it. Actually, let's just leave it at that because I won't be able to handle any more today, all right? And I feel very blessed to have this at all. Okay? Does that make sense? Oops, hold on. I got messed up here. I got to check something on the chat. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Topaz. Oh man, that's rough. Oh my God. I see your notes there. Your computer died. Your card died. Videos trouble. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. Oh dear. All right. Let's just get. Let's just do this. You know. Let's just do it. We're here. We might as well take advantage of the whole of like the the YouTube thing that we do. So give me a second. I'm going to put some music on while I get some cards ready for you guys. All right. So just stay right there. Let's have a look. Give me a second here. And kind of just chill, 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 chill. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. We have peacefully arrived at the stage where we're going to do some live super chat readings. Thank you very much. I hadn't even planned it, but now that we're here, we're going to just go for it. So I'm going to put Tina front and center. We're going to start with Tina, and you're going to get a multiple reading, okay? All right, Tina, so everybody probably is aware because Tina mentioned it on the screen. Her stepdad just died, so Tina's having to make an emergency trip up into Ohio to connect with, I guess, family or step family and whatever. And Tarot Lumination over here, I'm going to stay completely neutral. I'm making sure that I have like almost like a zero emotional perspective on this, and I'm going purely from energy, purely from the energetics, okay? Estarzi is offering me one free wish. Okay. I'll save that. Okay, remind me when we get to your reading, okay? And then we'll talk about it. Actually, this is going to go this way. Excuse me, I just have to reshuffle everything. So I hope you guys have patience and time, and we're going to just hang out together while we do a bunch of readings. I had no idea we were going to do this, but now that we're here. Alright, here we go. Let's have a look. So Tina, you've got this big trip coming up. It's kind of like an emergency trip, and it sounds like you're going to be going very soon, sometime around the energy of the Pisces new moon. And, well, you know how Pisces Neptunian energy can often signal the passing away of things, the natural ending of birth and death, and you get to the end of the cycle where everything just naturally dies away. So let's just say this is a very, very appropriate, very divinely ordained, let's say it's divine timing with this situation. Even whether your people didn't know or your stepdad didn't know, let's just say it's all happening in terms of divine timing, okay? So let's bless the situation. Bless you, Tina. Thank you for starting off this evening here and triggering a whole bunch of super chats, because this is very, very valuable to Tarot Illumination, even though I'm not really promoting the channel much anymore. Your kindness and generosity means a lot to Tarot Illumination. I still have the Patreon membership going, so I really appreciate that. And in a few weeks, Tarot Illumination will become more active again on the channel to try and promote the book and do super chats and fundraisers and things, so I can get on with the book and finish the book. Okay? And that's where the primary focus and energy of Tarot Illumination will be for the next few months. Okay? Meanwhile, Tina, let's just check in. Let's bless this deck. Let's bless every single card. Let's get, I don't know, like get one of those kind of, I don't want to, honestly, Tina, I'm not feeling like it's appropriate for me to try and trigger a whole bunch of sentimentality and big group hugs right now. I think we're coming from a very clear perspective where, you know, death comes to us all. We know that, and you've just indicated the situation where someone in your life has just crossed over, and that's just how it is. So I don't know. Please don't be offended, but I'm taking this in a very, very neutral manner, okay? Oh, that's interesting what you said there. Your mom is a Capricorn, your stepdad is Aries. The Aries energy is actually under a tremendous amount of pressure right now from all the heavy Capricorn influence, you know, with the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars. That's a lot of energy hard squaring onto the Aries energy. So if you want to, you can blame the planets, you know. Eventually we all have our breaking point. So let's have a look. So we're going to focus on the trip itself, perhaps the meaning or the influence or whatever it is. We're going to look at the trip, okay? Let's do that now. Yes, I'm glad you understand me, Tina, because, you know, some people, they have like an aftershock, and you might feel it in terms of like an emotional impact later on, but sometimes at the actual times of death, some people feel it in a very, very neutral way because it's so overwhelming. It can almost be numbing. And the way the body responds is to go in a state of dissociation, dissociative behavior and symptoms and reactions is perfectly natural. It's absolutely natural and normal. So if you're not sitting there blubbering your eyes out or anything like that, like right now, or having crushing, you know, feelings of like, oh, if only this, I could have done this, or we should have, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about it, okay? You're deeply in the flow, Tina, already, and we're just going to have a little fine-tuning glimpse into, let's say, the the theme of the trip coming up, okay? That's what I'm sensing here. Let's have a look at the theme, okay? Oh, you're worried about your mom being in high altitude with heart problems. Okay, well, again, the Capricorn energy, all that stuff in the planets right now, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars, that's a lot of pressure for Capricorns. It's Capricorn too. It's very intense pressure on all Capricorns. Okay? So this might be kind of a multi-layered reading. Okay, Tina, we'll see what happens. I broke the deck up into a really extreme cut here to make sure it's nice and clean and pure. Clear. Here's the situation with the trip. Here's the challenges with the trip. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the circumstantial energy. I like to think of it as the weather surrounding this trip. We already know the events, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the influences, okay? So it's a very profound message here with the World card. This is a very, what I would say, very poignant moment in time for everybody involved in the trip. For you, Tina, I think what I'm sensing here with the World card is that, like, for all the people involved on your trip, for you going up there, meeting with people up there, and for your stepdad who died, it's a very, very clear experience of what it's like to witness and be there at the end. To be at the end and knowing that a whole life has been lived and completed. And for better or worse, it kind of doesn't matter at this point. All the energies of earth, air, and fire, and water. Basically look at it this way, that what I'm sensing is, with this energy, like, everything is perfect, Tina. Everything is exactly as it should be. Every nuance that happened in your stepfather's life, every connection that you guys had together, for better or worse, the challenges and the mishaps, whatever didn't work out, whatever it might be, like absentee parentism, or, you know, the feelings of having a stepdad when the original birth father migrates away. All of it is exactly how it should be. He lived his life. It's completed. It's a complete life. So if you look at it like a storybook, to me this is very beautiful, encouraging energy for everybody involved in the trip to understand that everything about it is perfect. In other words, he might have had his flaws. He might have screwed up on this, and everybody has that, but it's still perfect. It's like a story. It's like watching a movie. The movie has been lived, and it's now the end of a movie. And when you go through a ceremonial ending, what I'm hoping is that you understand at the same time, let's say you stay there long enough on the trip, Tina, where you can get involved in the passing away ceremony, whatever they call it there, a funeral or a cremation or something. If you're going to get involved in all of that, please, I'm hoping that all of you see the trip as a chance to, like, celebrate the beginning of new life. Look, it's almost like, look at his life, his beginning, middle, and end of life as a very pure example of, you know, being alive and then ending, and then you celebrate the ending, and then you celebrate the beginning of new life. I don't think it's a coincidence that this happened in and around the new moon, okay? As the Pisces energy descends into the end of a lunar cycle, and you start the new moon in Pisces. Very, very strong lunar energy in Pisces, okay? So it's very, let's say, it's very divine energy. That's going to be the sun, moon, and Mercury, and Neptune, all in Pisces at this time, coming up next week, okay? Which will be like the send-off for your stepdad, which is also the beginning of new life for him, okay? So he's entering a whole new world, like a whole new movie is starting again for him, in a different realm, of course. But for all of you guys too, I hope you see this as a very important punctuation mark in your lives, so you can see it as the beginning of new life for all of you, and not a reminder of, you know, how terminal everything is here on this world. It's almost like this is a message for having a really serious, good, profound, heart-to-heart type of wake, like they would do in Ireland, where everybody has a drink and a dance and celebrates. They celebrate the life, and they celebrate the endings, and they celebrate the beginnings. Let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay, to me it looks like with the kind of the emperor here. I don't know this man. Okay, Tina, I don't know this man, but to me this looks like this trip is focusing on the ceremony, the ceremonial aspects of life itself, where, let's say your stepdad was a good man or was a good man. It's time to honor and respect that, and look at. It's almost like, again, Tina, I don't know too much about the situation, but it looks to me like a life well lived in some way or another, where this man conducted himself a bit like an emperor, a bit like an imperial leader whose word was his bond, who lived by example, and who liked to feel like he's in charge, someone who liked to be the boss, and where it's almost like he's encouraging everybody else. To me it feels like if he could, from spirit right now, he would be going through to everybody involved who's still alive in your world, Tina, and giving everybody a big hug, reminding them, please remember to stay in your own dignity, to remember that you are the boss of your life, and live your life to the fullest. Live your life according to your rules of integrity, and don't bow down to anyone. Don't humiliate yourself or lower yourself to accommodate other beings or other people or other belief systems or other, political influences or financial influences. None of that matters. What he's suggesting here, I think this is very much about your stepdad. What counts is self-respect, dignity, honor, and let's say like living in your full state of majesty and not apologizing. And it's perfectly okay to do what you feel is right for you, and to be number one in your life. Even if you've shared your life very richly and generously with other people, I think there's a message here that your stepdad is reminding everybody to stay in their power, make the very best of their lives, some way, somehow. He's not going to tell you what to do or how to do it, because that's your business. Now, what's the challenges here about this trip? Okay, to me it looks like there's a lot of fear associated with, like what does this mean to all of us? Like, if your stepdad, Tina, was a significant influence in your life, the chances are he was a significant influence in other people's lives, probably the people who were very close to him. And he might have set standards, perhaps, that were too high to meet. And yet there's a realization that even he too is mortal. No matter how magnanimous or magnificent he might be, he too is mortal. His movie is over. The movie is over, and he's starting a whole new movie on the other side. And that's his business. And the thing is, to me it feels like the fear is the legacy that he's leaving behind, which is about, like, to me it feels like being inspirational and being encouraged to live your life in its fullest is actually a real challenge, because when you have a very strong character around you, sometimes people shelter themselves inside and around that strong character as though they were like the owner of a big castle, and everybody benefits from living inside the castle with a benevolent emperor type of energy. And then without that castle, without that emperor, a lot of people might feel very lost and have a difficult time tapping into their own energy of like, oh, how on earth am I supposed to start to live in my own movie and live to my own magnificent self? And so there could be like sensations or deep, to me this feels like a very deeply buried energy of self-doubt in each one of you, in that you're meeting on this trip where I don't think anyone would like to admit it, but there's this profound like traumatic sense of loss, like, well, what are we going to do now? How are we supposed to live in such a, let's a self-determining, courageous way without the influence or the support of the grand figure here? So that's a problem. How are you going to deal with that going forward? Okay, when I see the Six of Pentacles here, my feeling is that it might be an idea. You know, I don't know if you've done this, Tina, with funerals and things like that before, where somebody stands up and does a eulogy. Somebody makes a speech or tells stories about the person who passed away. What I'm sensing here with the Six of Pentacles, the way to handle, because this is, to me, looks like quite extreme, powerful energy here, especially because it sounded like the passing of your stepdad was a little bit unexpected, and so it comes as a bit of shock to everybody. So what do we do now? But it also feels to me like he wouldn't have had it any other way. And so I think with the Six of Pentacles, this looks to me like this is a real tremendous opportunity to take advantage of the situation, take advantage of the people who are gathering together at this event in your lives, because each one of you are different people, and you all experience the passing of the stepfather in completely different ways. So what I'm suggesting here is that one of the ways that everybody can benefit in a way that he would approve, if he could, from the other side, for you to tap into the courage is bring, like if there's a lot of animosity between you, Tina, and some other family members, or between other family members and other family members, it would be a really good time to get that off of everybody's chest and to everybody share a valuable story about what it meant to have this man in their lives. Like how he benefited you, how he benefited the others, and how you benefited him. Like how it to me, it looks like almost like a mutual appreciation. It needs to be established where, like, in order so that people don't suffer from the shock of the loss of this man, you take advantage of the situation, look at it as divine timing, like with the Pisces energy right now, and look at it as a way to, when I see Pentacles, I'm thinking of this in a love situation right now, in a very, very loving way, for people to bring, I'd say, it's almost like bringing gifts to yourselves and each other, where like you start to acknowledge deliberately how valuable each person is to each other in this family dynamic, family situation. Maybe like if there's somebody who's going to tell stories or speak a eulogy in front of a group of people, it might be an idea to get a collection of stories that represent loving actions. Okay? I'm looking at these pentacles as measurable actions of love is as love does. And everybody who wants to, please put that in the eulogy. Maybe it's just one speaker, but you don't, and things can be anonymous as well. I don't see any swords cards here for, regarding communications, but to me this looks like physical evidence. It's really important, I think, to bring forward physical evidence about love is as love does. Share, and the way I would do that is by sharing that, how he benefited you, and how that benefit moved and propagated to other people in the extended family situation. And then to me, it feels like it's important to share that publicly and openly in order to dissipate the fear of like, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? Enjoy the moment, make the most of it, and tap into the value of loving actions, any kind of loving actions that he did that had a positive influence on your lives. Your life, Tina, and other people who are going to be up there with you, okay? Look at the positive and find ways to bring harmony and balance by understanding the concept of love is as love does. I hope that makes sense. I think it's very important to get that concept across. Love is as love does, okay? Actions, very valuable actions that have measurable, tangible, three-dimensional, positive outcomes. All right, Tina? That's about the trip, okay? Now, about the upcoming week. I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to pull 2 oracles, okay, Tina? So, Tina, I hope that made sense to you. Yeah, Tina, I saw you. He was not very nice to your mom. If he was bossy and, let's say, controlling, with that 6 of Pentacles, it might be an idea to like have an open discussion, lay it out on the table, like just like what you're saying here. Let's put it out there. He was not very nice to your mom. Bring things back into harmony. Bring things back into balance. Okay, let everybody know. But how does that balance out with having an actual stepdad? The value of having a stepdad as opposed to not having a dad at all, things like that. I think it's important to bring balance and understanding into this trip so that people get to, let's say, perhaps balance out their grievances at the same time as recognizing the good side of the story, okay? Okay, so hang in, Tina. We're going to do some more stuff here. Not with this. I'm going to pull 2 oracles. Give me a second. And Tina, that's your reading. So I know you're very savvy about all this stuff. You saw those cards. You can reinterpret however you want. I'm just giving you the Tarot Lumination spin on things. And then you can layer things up with your own, actual knowledge and experience that is only your business. Okay? So we're still working on Tina's reading here. Hang in. I just need to clear this deck. Okay, now I'm going to put this deck aside. I'm going to bring out 2 oracles. And this is about the coming week ahead. Here's a spiritual message about the coming week ahead. I'm just going to shuffle them up, Tina. And then we're going to do just a simple lucky. I'm just going to do a simple draw. And this will be a message to help you how to deal with what is happening over the next week. It might be you might want to think of this as a 2-week thing, for the next 2 weeks, looking at the Pisces new moon all the way to the full moon when the moon is in Virgo, okay? Just think about that, okay? Tina, again about that message about the Emperor and balancing things out. I didn't want to dwell too much on the flip side energy of the Emperor, because that can, as you've kind of indicated here on your notes, that can be an energy of someone who can be let's say, oppressive or overly dominating or overly controlling, even though they might mean well. You know, sometimes like the Emperor energy, they're probably always, you know, coming from theoretically a good place, but usually it's in some ways a very self-serving type of energy. I just didn't want to dwell on that too much and take everything into like a shadow reading. I wanted to stay on the positive side, okay? All right, about the coming week. I want to extend this to the next 2 weeks, okay, Tina? A little spiritual message here for you. Okay, what message do we have here for Tina regarding spiritual support? I'm looking at this as support from your invisible friends. Okay? And then how we can basically make that the best for you, how we can optimize that for you. I'm just going to cut it up very briefly here. I'm doing a very extreme cut because I like having a very clear deck. Let me put this aside here. So this is going to be your card. Intuition. It's a really beautiful card. I hope you can see that. It's a deep indigo surrounded by all these fractal arts like stars, like little solar systems, like galaxies, okay? Galaxies swirling around a galaxy. Let me just read from the book. All right, Tina, this is for you. It says here, now, I don't know how this is going to relate to you, Tina, but I'm just going to read from the book. There is a focus right now on your intuitive and clairvoyant abilities. This card usually signifies an amplification of this functioning. You may find yourself feeling more tapped in to the cosmic energy fields of information than ever before. This can include the sudden channeling of information from celestial beings, like your invisible friends, an increase in predictive dreams, or sensing information from objects or from your surroundings, okay? It's just an accelerated, improving, more acute, more sensitive intuition, okay? Like heightened high sensory perception. And especially with the Pisces new moon coming up and the Neptune and Mercury in Pisces too, okay? So, stay open to this flow. It is happening for a reason. You are being attuned with higher ascension energies, which are affecting the planet at this time, just like I said. And yes, this will be a permanent enhancement. So, don't be concerned if you suddenly feel like you are a peeping Tom when you start receiving information about the people around you. That would be normal, Tina, if you are moving into a new chapter in life with this new moon, with the passing of your stepdad, where you feel very clearly that you're becoming more high sensory perceptive, then please take it as a truth, okay? These gifts are intended to work this way. It is a part of the awareness which the rest of humanity will experience when they are ready to move into this higher frequency field. But for now, just relax as you adjust to it. It's personal for you right now, okay? This is your moment. This is your time to take things next level when it comes to perception, high sensory perception, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. And it might be a really good opportunity to feel that when you're in contact with these family and step-family members right now. The intuition card also comes to those whose intuitive gifts are strong but underdeveloped. It is important for you to trust that you are indeed intuitive, and this is an important part of who you are. Be open to learning about your intuition and how it works. Take classes, read information on it, and speak to those you know who are actively using their gift. I do this all the time. This is kind of my world. You may be very surprised by how easily and naturally your intuition starts to blossom for you. The main thing is to trust the process of what is happening for you. Trust any information you receive. The more you acknowledge and focus on your intuition, the stronger it will be. And it will become clear soon how to use your gift in service, okay? That's one of the key challenges about having this gift, Tina, as you go deeper into this world of expanded intuition. The more you, let's say, tap into it as a form of service to humanity, the happier and more joyful and beneficial it becomes. The more and more you, let's say, allow yourself to be derailed or confused or try to manipulate it or exploit it, it tends to have a flip side energy to it that can be very hard to handle or understand and sometimes very uncomfortable. Okay, so let's just allow for that, okay? And basically, all of this is happening for a reason, all of it at the same time. The passing of your stepdad and this moment in time where your intuition is set to expand more than ever before. So I'm thinking that you'll learn a lot over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to put this card away. I don't know if I'm going to use the deck again today, but I'm going to shuffle it away. Okay, I'm just going to tuck this away. I can see a couple of notes on the screen there. I'm just getting a glimpse, and it's I would say like how the people here on the channel are already naturally very intuitive anyway. They're very tuned into spirit, and what they are doing is, like, to me, that they are refining and adjusting this reading for you, Tina, in real time on the chat, so that you can get more value out of this reading than I can do for you just for myself. So I'm going to leave you with one more parting oracle card here about more to do with how to handle the next 2 weeks. This is a very grounding energy here with these cards. The messages are kind of blunt and kind of in your face. I'm just going to clear some room here. And this deck and the fellow who wrote it, Tony Salerno, he's all about like dealing with reality as it is, how to cope with reality as it is, and how to make the best of the facts of life and how they are right now, so that you don't get sideswiped or ambushed or betrayed or deluded with life, okay? Again, think of this as a helpful message for the next 2 weeks. What I'm feeling is like, how are we going to handle this? This is like an amplification of the Six of Pentacles earlier. Let's have a practical application of how Tina is going to manage over the next couple of weeks. It's a very practical, grounded, earthing kind of deck. Here we go. Give me a second, all right, Tina? Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut it all up. Very extreme cut. Wow, that's hyper extreme. And here we go. This is your card, Tina. It's about a hidden gift. Wow. Sadness and ending a new beginning. Okay, so this has got a little bit of relevance even before we started to read from the oracle itself. So I'll just lay the image here so you can see. All right, now I'm going to pull it up as we read it. So here, to me, this is a message about how to handle like practicalities of the next 2 weeks. The angel featured on this card reflects the sadness that you feel at present or may experience sometime in the coming weeks. Something you cherish has or may come to an end soon. Well, that's very clear. That's very relevant already. It is human nature to fear change and be saddened when something we love or are emotionally attached to ends. However, this card has a positive side and reminds you that every ending heralds a new beginning. So this card is very deeply tapped in and tuned in and turned on to the original tarot reading that we just had a few minutes ago. This card has a positive side, reminds you that every ending heralds a new beginning. That was the World card. Okay? This is simply a law of nature. Nothing is ever truly lost. Things simply transform. New beginnings are in store for you, brighter and lighter than ever. There is a hidden gift attached to this event. When the timing is right, you will receive a precious gift either in the form of positive news, a new revelation, or an unexpected turn of events that turns out to be in your favor. Whatever it turns out to be, it will, without a doubt, warm your heart and fill you with joy. Meantime, be aware of the love that surrounds you. Allow it into your heart and trust. The universe is guiding events to unfold in a way that is for your highest good. And I would say for the highest good of everybody involved in this situation, okay? I see you as one character in this situation, but I see you as a very much a leading character in this situation. And so there might be a lot of weight on your shoulders in a very kind of undefined or unexpected way. But I think that it's like you're strong, Tina, and you know how to handle it, and that's why it's happening this way. I'm not going to read this anymore. I'm not going to reinterpret it. You can do that yourself. So let's just be grateful. I think this is very, very much in tune, and basically it endorses the original tarot that we just did earlier. Okay? So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put this aside. And then we're going to go on and we are going to read for Topaz. Topaz, I hope you're still here because you're going to get your reading next, okay? Alright, I have to keep clearing this because it's quite a heavy reading, Tina, okay? A lot of energy was flowing through during this reading, so you might want to just take a few deep breaths and digest it. And if you have to, watch it again on the action replay just before you go on the trip, perhaps, and then just forget about it and let it take its course. Alright, so that's good. Let's put this aside here. And then we're going to go on and move up to Topaz. Alright, thank you, Tina. Next up, Topaz Zen. Now, Topaz, I think your notes earlier, you were telling us how you're really having a crappy time with this Mercury retrograde. Well, for a lot of people, that would make sense, okay? So, let's do this. All right, Topaz. Okay, we're going to go back to the tarot. I'm just going to check in. Hold on, stay there. Hi, Tina. I think it's going to be very interesting what happens with you and your life and your people over the next couple of weeks, because of this very, very strong Pisces new moon and the heavy support of the Pisces new moon from all the Capricorn energy. And my feeling is like almost like whether you like it or not, you're going to be in a kind of a leadership role, and you're going to have to kind of take charge a little bit perhaps to help everybody else get through. And that's going to, and it's going to trigger your intuition more than ever before. And then what do you do from there? And also, I think a lot of divine intervention is going on here. In other words, there are things that are happening that you couldn't possibly have expected or planned in any great detail or anticipated in any way. And so you end up literally having to trust your intuition, having to trust in divine intervention, and deeply trusting in the process, trusting in the flow, and then just going with it, and always making the ultimate decision, which is to do what is the most loving thing that I can do right now. Sometimes it's a very tough thing to do, like saying no to somebody or no to something, okay? And then yes to something that you're not happy with, and yes to something that you'd rather not do, but you know deep in your heart that's the right thing. So you'll figure it out, all right, Tina? Thank you, Tina. All right, let's go back. Let's have a look. Hey, Fritterly, I just saw your note there. It says, it's possible that cardiac issues are psychosomatic, at least in part. I can guarantee that is true, Fritterly, because I've had heart issues and because I've had quite a few traumatic events. You know, where I've ended up in hospitals and heart attacks and things like that. It's perfectly normal. You know, heart events, cardiac events, whatever you want to call them. It can be triggered by deep stress, deep pain, deep loss, deep trauma. Okay? It really does go to the heart. People end up with things like angina or high blood pressure or like chronically high, whatever they call it, you know, when your heart beats really too quickly, too fast. Hypertension, I think it is. I can't remember. Anyway. Well, another thing I see from your notes about the Mercury retrograde, honestly, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, along with the Pisces Sun and the Pisces New Moon and Neptune in Pisces, that's a lot of Pisces energy. And it's great when it works, but it's incredibly hard to handle Piscean Neptune energy when it's in the flip side of its expression. It's very, very hard to handle, okay? I'm just letting you know. So you might be one of those people who's experiencing the flip side of Mercury retrograde in Pisces, especially since it's being amplified by the Sun and Neptune. All right, Topaz, let's have a look what's going on. Oh, let me just check. Hold on, I just saw something from Lena. Lena wants an oracle. I'll put Lena over here for an oracle. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Thank you, Lena. I'm just making some room here. All right, no problem. I'll put that over here. That's for Lena. Meanwhile, Topaz, I forgot, did you have any notes for me? Hey, Topaz? Topaz, do you have any notes? Is this like a general overview that you're looking at here? I can't remember. Hold on, let me see if I can go back in the chat, see if there's something I missed. I can't remember. Where are we? Okay, so there's no exact notes here, Topaz. So Topaz, I'm going to go blind for you. I'm just going to do a completely free-flowing blind reading, okay? I'll keep an eye on the screen for the chat, but in general, I'm just going to go straight in for you. Especially, like, for example, how are we going to deal with Mercury retrograde and all this Neptunian Piscean influence for you. It might just be overwhelming, okay? General is good. That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's bless this deck, bless every single card. What messages do we have today for Topaz from, let's say, my invisible friends, from her invisible friends, and from the great, great masters in the great beyond who see all and know all, okay? What have we got here? All right, let's have a look. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but I go to the last second so that you're a witness. I'm going to make this a nice, gentle, even break. Okay? Okay, here's the situation, Topaz. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle it. Let's look at the circumstantial energy that you're having to deal with right now. I think of it as the planets, of course, but it could be anything. Okay, with the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, my feeling here is that this feels almost like a wish. You know how the Nine of Cups is almost considered the wish card? I'm feeling that a bit over here with the Nine of Pentacles. Like there's a deep yearning inside of you to have a higher degree of independence and autonomy when it comes to wealth, creating your own wealth, obtaining wealth, growing wealth, managing wealth, understanding wealth, so that you can feel more like it's like you have more of a chance to experience abundance in the way that is the most authentic for you. Okay, so with the Nine of Pentacles here, it's like there's another message here. To me, it's also a little bit about girl power, and it's almost like no matter how hard it is for you, Topaz Zen, right now to tap into your girl power, it is worth it over the long term. You might need to, let's say, connect with other women who are on the pathway of self-empowerment. In other words, like, how do you do what you do? How did you get to be who you are? Make sure you take advantage of the energy right now so that you don't feel as though you're getting hijacked or ambushed or having like a car that's broken down on the side of the road. What I'm sensing here is, look at the energy around you, understand that abundance is around you, and that, let's say, sensing, owning, and having abundance in your life, it's your right. You have a right to a greater sense of personal wealth and autonomy right now. And this is a really good time to tap into it. In other words, anything that's bad that's happening that might feel as though it's out of your control, have a deeper look at the spiritual and three-dimensional aspects of what it means and where it comes from. Like, how did things get so bad? What are we going to do about this now? How are we going to turn it around and turn it into abundance? You know how there are a lot of women in like this girl power movement who've come from a place of adversity, and they've discovered through their own painful pathways how to turn it into abundance for themselves, even if it's in little tiny ways. It's worth it. Okay, let's have a look. What's the situation here? Okay, I'm Topaz. This is going to sound really, really strange. I hope you don't get offended by this, but what I'm sensing here with the King of Pentacles, it's almost like, God, I wish I could just marry into some money. I wish I could be with a man of significance, a man of wealth, a man of power, who recognized me and recognizes me as a valuable person in their life. I don't know if you're married, Topaz. I don't know if you have a sweetheart, or you lost someone, or you're in a situation with someone. But, you know, I was looking at this as at the sort of, at the boyfriend-girlfriend level. I don't know why I felt that, but I felt it very strongly. And it's almost like, it's like, I wish I could just meet some guy who would like have that degree of wealth and respect and in the community and the world around them, and they would treat me more like a trophy bride, a trophy girl. So I don't actually have to be the one who has to go out and carve out my own wealth, my own independence. So okay, so Topaz, let me take this to the next level. To me, this is also an indicator. When I'm taking the girl power energy that I'm sensing here, it's a time to own it. And I'm not saying to become more masculine in the way you conduct your life, but all I'm suggesting here is tap into, like, what would a guy do? How would a guy do this? Like a strong male leader who is making it their mission. You know how a lot of guys are really driven to have careers and make money and be seen as rich and successful and to be really good providers. What I'm suggesting here is that if you have what I would call extremely feminine energies, Topaz, it might be the situation right now is to give yourself a chance to carry yourself the way a guy would do that. I'm not saying like you have to cut your hair really short and wear men's suits and trousers and become really butch. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you can still be very feminine, but come from a very strong energy where you start tapping into your self-confidence. And the more you do that and the more you experiment with that, the more you have a chance of turning your life into the way that you would want it, as a wish, you know, a wish for more wealth, a wish for more abundance. Look to thyself, love thyself, treat yourself as a king, okay? As the way a king would treat themselves. King energy here, I'm not saying, I mean, it would be great if it was a queen, but king energy, they don't apologize for being strong. They don't apologize for their abundance, the work that they've done to get that, and the work that they have to do to maintain that wealth and abundance and stability, okay? It's so, to me, there's a lot of like energies of like taking really feminine energy and putting it inside a very masculine, strong structure and putting that all together into one thing and living life from that new perspective, okay? And maybe the really difficult challenges that you're feeling right now are waking you up to this. In other words, you showed up here tonight just to get this reading to touch on a very delicate, sensitive issue, okay? And you need to address it. What are the problems here? Okay, well, with the Six of Pentacles, my feeling is that the problem is you would really like to do something that we've just talked about, okay? It's like it's almost like you're kind of looking at me with very sad eyes and saying, I wish I could do exactly what you're talking about, Tarot Lumination, but I don't know if I can. In fact, I'd really just rather escape from this whole concept of what you just talked about because it seems like it's too much. It's too much for me to do this. It's too much for me to handle this. It's almost like a really deep reluctance to like accept the messages of this reading and to go on with it in a way that works for you, and instead looking at the messages as something like, I really didn't want to hear this. I don't want to go on with this new thing. I don't want to, I'm too scared to like move forward in my own journey. Like, to me this almost feels like a shedding. Maybe if you feel that you're losing someone in life who is very significant for you, or that you might not ever have a very, very solid, significant other in your life to basically support you in the lifestyle to which you would like to become accustomed, then it would be like this very deep fear of being able or willing or ready to move on yourself on your own, like just like moving on with life as though you had to just imagine, okay? Imagine, Topaz, if you were like in an emergency situation, what would you take with you? What key essentials would you take with you in life in order to move forward with the things that really count? So like sometimes a lot of it was to do with attitudes, perceptions, beliefs, and let's say knowledge and wisdom that you know is really, really important. Sometimes knowledge and wisdom is more valuable than money itself, because you can do something with knowledge and wisdom. And to me it feels like, it's almost like, oh, Terra Illumination, you're telling me just to like strip down my life to what really, really, really counts. What is it that's really valuable? What's really important to me? And stop looking for answers outside of myself to find the wealth and abundance that I know that I deserve. And instead having to go on this spiritual journey myself and figure it out for myself. Oh no, oh no, oh no. There's a way to handle it, okay? Let's have a look. Okay, so with the 9 of Cups here, there's a 9 here, there's a 9. You know how it's funny, you know how I was talking earlier about the 9 of Cups? I don't know why. Maybe I said that in one of the other readings. I can't remember. But anyway, Topaz, what I'm sensing here is, it's almost like, this is almost, to me, it feels like it's an attitude adjustment. And I don't like being the one to have to deliver this message. But it feels to me that right now it would be really good time to take stock of how like wealthy you are already, how lucky you are already, how much happiness you have already, how much love you have in life already. Now, if you're not aware of that, this would be a good, to me, this would be a really good message to tap into the attitude of gratitude, so that you can trigger the energy of abundance, the energy of wishes coming true. So in other words, if you dwell in the energies of what's not working and why it's not working, or woe is me, or how is it ever going to happen, it'll never happen. The way forward is to maybe actually even read one of those books about the attitude of gratitude. There's probably a ton of, little books or famous books or, books about it, so that you understand it from an intellectual perspective. What exactly is the attitude of gratitude, and how can you manifest that and activate that in your life so that you really truly can get a sense of wealth and abundance, and you own it from the inside out, instead of expecting it to come to you, or it has to find you, or that you have to go and get it. It's more like understanding that you own it inside you already, but you have to tune into it, and that is an attitude. Understanding the attitude of gratitude and starting to build that into your life. And then the sense of wealth and abundance has a greater chance of actually manifesting, okay? So Topaz, I hope that made sense, okay? I hope that made sense to you. Hold on, I just saw, okay, I'm going to wrap this up for Topaz, and we're going to move on to Sarah Al-Shaikhi. Thank you, Topaz. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't touch too many tender nerves there. Okay, for some reason, the transmission is becoming a little bit impaired from over here, and I don't know why, because I have a really powerful system here. So I don't know what it is. But anyway, I hope you guys can still see the shows. You can still see the live stream. I'm going to put this over here. Okay. Hey Topaz, we'll probably talk about this again on another time, okay? Because I really feel that the energy of abundance is a very important theme in your life right now, and it has to be married to the attitude of gratitude and understanding how the two are completely fundamentally linked. The attitude of gratitude is very closely linked to the energy of wealth and abundance and independence, especially your girl power. Okay? Okay, Sarah, you're up. And Sarah, you can say very clearly, it's thank you to Topaz Zen. So, dear Topaz, what just happened here, this is a good way to build wealth. Your kindness and generosity is actually adding up into, wealth and abundance to you. It might not be in obvious ways right now, but this attitude of kindness and generosity here, paying it forward, is a really good technique to build wealth and to tap into how the attitude of gratitude actually works. It's like planting seeds. You're planting seeds, sowing seeds of wealth and abundance, okay? So you're already on it, Topaz, whether you like it or know it or not. You're on it, but I think it's more a question of understanding it and believing it and turning it into a daily practice. All right, Sarah, I just got to shuffle up and clear things up a little bit. I need some water. Hold on. What's that? Patty cakes? Hello, Patty cakes, XO. Good evening to you. What's this about a raccoon for Frittily? Frittily has raccoons. Frittily makes videos about raccoons. Frittily has raccoons in her yard. They're funny dumpster diver friends. All right, Sarah. Okay, so everybody here right now, Sarah Al-Shaikhi is over there in Benghazi, and she's deep in her studies right now, coming up to her master's in petroleum engineering. So Sarah is basically a brainiac, taking it to the max, to the absolute max. Go Sarah. Wow. I wish I could do cool things like that. I would love to have a master's in something, or be like amazingly cool at something and get really well paid for doing something really cool like that. That would be so cool. I knew a guy when I was a kid, and he was very smart, and he got recruited into the oil and gas industry, and he went up really quickly. He ended up being like a manager of what do they call them? One of those North Sea oil drills, those huge platforms that you see out in the ocean. He became one of the managers of those places. And then after that, he kind of went into the business side. He didn't have to go out onto the rigs anymore. And I think then he got married and had a couple of children. Something like that. So it takes a really, you have to be really good at like math and engineering and science and geology and I guess engineering, Go Sarah. What? What's that? Sarah, you're also kind of sort of maybe-ish kind of preparing for your wedding? Whoa. Wow. Wow. Hold on. So that's kind of exciting. We just had a fun reading with Topaz, and to me it felt very much about girl power and self-empowerment, attitude of gratitude, and abundance and wealth and money. Now we're moving on to Sarah, and there's kind of a couple of big things. So you're doing your master's in petroleum engineering, and you're preparing for your wedding. That's a lot of really big stuff happening in your life all at once. That's big stuff. Wow. Yeah. Go Sarah. Maybe you have some news for us. It's like you might be one of those people who's naturally successful at things, successful in life, love, relationships, money, career, all of that. Some people have lives like that. You just might be one of them. Go Sarah. All right, let's have a look. What's going on here? I'm just gonna go blind, okay, Sarah? Let's just see what the messages are that come out for you. I know you've talked about your masters and your upcoming wedding. Let's just see what comes out in the story here, okay? It's actually, you know what, Sarah? Here's another thing that just occurred to me. I've had this channel for like almost 3 years, and it had a growth, and it got very traumatic, and then it got attacked many times, and then it started dying because YouTube doesn't like the channel anymore, and so the channel is essentially destroyed, and I didn't have any control over it, and so I'm just living with what's left. But we've had a good time. But what I've noticed over the last 3 years that we've got some amazing people that have come to the channel, and some very powerful, beautiful, capable people, mostly female. One of the common themes is healing, the healing power of love, and like really strong women finding a platform and a situation and a safe place where they can express and deal with some very painful, traumatic energies and experiences in their life, and without having to bottle it in and suffer from it anymore. So that's really, really good. And there are a couple of people who come to the channel who do have very rich, abundant lives. They have a natural attitude of gratitude. And so I'm always amazed at people who have these natural abundance type of lifestyles, and yet they still come to the channel. It amazes me. I feel like very kind of privileged, like, wow, you're hanging out with Terra Lumination even though you're like already cool. That's really cool. Thank you, Sarah. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Wow, that's so cool. Hey Sarah, by the way, regarding the weddings, I would recommend take a very close look at the eclipses. Check out, there are different websites where you can go to check out the timing of the eclipses this year, because this is a very, let's say, active year, almost a turbulent year. It's a very historical year astrologically. We have 6, I think of it as 7 eclipses this year. And you might want to look at the timing of your wedding, the actual wedding ceremony, and have a look how it would line up with the eclipses. Like a new moon eclipse or a full moon eclipse. Which eclipse? There are places where you can go. I have all that information here. I have, websites and charts where you can look into it accurately. You could go online and figure it out, but in terms of timing, I highly recommend taking the eclipses into account, so you play to the strength of the eclipses. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Well, what's coming up as messages for Sarah besides everything that we just talked about? Okay. Oh, it's very exciting here right now, Sarah. We're having a thunderstorm with pelting rain, and we've been waiting for this for weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks. We really need it here. Okay. Cards are well shuffled. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to do a very extreme, hyper extreme cut, because I want things to be very pure and very clear, and I want to take advantage of this. Okay, here we go. Here's the situation. What does Sarah need to know right now from and through Terra Lumination regarding her situation in a very, very important year in her life? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And what's the weather like? Circumstantial energy. I like to think of it as the planetary influences. We have the Four of Cups. So, like, to me it feels like if you're, like, if you tend to be a natural optimist, and you're already living your life to the max, and it's almost like, how am I going to say this in a way that makes sense? It's almost like as you evolve and grow, okay, Sarah, as you do your natural growth and evolution, let's say you get your master's, let's say the wedding goes well, and all these good things happen in your life, and they line up for you, and you matched it with the eclipses in such a way that it all benefits and works for you. There's like, some people get this sense of remorse and sadness from everything that they're going to be leaving behind. Like, you're going to be leaving behind, saying goodbye to your innocence, your childhood, your, let's say, your birth family, and creating a new family and a new life of your own where, like, it's all on you now. You're asking for this. You're setting yourself up for this. Like, to get a master's, for example, and to live that kind of life means you must have wanted it and worked very hard to get there. And to have a wedding and a marriage means you've done the work to get in the vibe of a marriage where you feel loving and they feel loving and you are loving and you are loved. It's a lot of work. But what I'm sensing here is, like, I don't know how to say this other. Like, if something goes wrong, I hope you don't let it devastate you in any way. And instead, just allow yourself to, let's say, feel, it's like, I'm not saying anything's going to go wrong with the master's degree or the wedding. All I'm suggesting is that as you go through these, like, monumental times in life, there can be this sadness of leaving everything behind, of like, coulda, woulda, shoulda, if only I'd done this or done that, or maybe something else could have happened. It's like feeling very, very sentimental, and it's almost like the energy of what it feels like to grow up and mature and become in your full power, and leave behind the energy of the young girl, the young woman who was doing all the striving and the love and the energy and committing to your life to get to be who you are, where you are today, right now. And it's almost like I feel like I'm not going to let myself personally get emotionally overwhelmed by this, but it feels to me like there's a lot riding on this right now with the masters and the wedding and the relationship and everything. And probably because you're like, I mean, to have a master's in petroleum engineering, you have to be very grounded and know how to take all your energy and make that work for you in a very academic, professional way. And you can do that in the world of academics, but it's not necessarily so simple to do that in the world of love and marriage and relationships. And so if you feel that anything to do with love, romance, and relationships is not happening at the same standards or to the same richness or the same degree of control and ownership and reward and celebration that you could have from doing the masters, then please allow for that. Please be really, really kind to yourself right now. Allow yourself to feel sentimental. Allow yourself to live within the frailties and the fragilities of human behavior so that you don't regret. Okay? What's the situation? Okay, well, with the Page of Swords here, it's almost like there has to be some caution, okay? Some caution going on in your life right now where, okay, it's great that you've got the Masters coming up and you've got a life coming up and you've got a wedding coming up and you're planning all of this. But it looks to me here that there are certain facts, pieces of truth, pieces of information that really need to be discussed, okay? Like beforehand, in advance, so that everybody knows where they stand. In other words, it's one thing being successful at academics and the master's type of thing, but when you're dealing with human emotions and feelings and planning a whole new life ahead with a partner, to me it feels that you can't afford to make any assumptions or treat it as an academic exercise or something that can be done by the book. And because you're probably very good at doing things by the book, my feeling here with this energy right now, Four of Cups here and the Page of Swords over here, is that right now this is telling me to give you a message that you need to have almost like a heart-to-heart conversation with some of the people involved with the love and romance side of your life, perhaps even your loved one. Have a real heart-to-heart talk and put things on the table that really need to be put on the table and brought into discussion before you get into the legal bindings of a marriage and the ceremony and going public with all of that, okay? This feels very much like, let's not rush this, okay? Make sure that everybody knows the truth of what's happening. Why you're getting married, when you're getting married, the meaning of the marriage, the meaning of the wedding, and putting it all together. You can't make any assumptions here, okay, Sarah? I think difficult subjects need to be addressed, okay, so that you don't end up in disappointment. Because you don't want things to come back and haunt you later on, okay? So what's the challenge with doing that and being that way? Okay, so with the Knight of Wands here, to me it feels like the challenge in the message that I'm sensing here is having the courage to face up to certain truths that really need to be exposed and brought out and discussed in your personal life right now. To me it looks like it's there, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be dealt with, but there's a deep fear and a deep reluctance to doing that, and a really serious concern that you even would have the courage to discuss anything uncomfortable that needs to be discussed with such important things in your life, okay? In other words, have you got the nerve, have you got the courage to do that? And to me it looks like you don't. And so you're kind of pretending that certain things do not need to be discussed. But if you ignore certain very delicate truths, you're setting yourself up for disappointment later on. Okay, so be very careful, be very conscientious, and let's see how we're going to deal with this. Okay, to me it looks like you're just going to have to become very brave. You're going to have to tell yourself, I have to do this. No one else can do it for you. It's your life, okay? It's your world, okay, Sarah? You have to find a way. It's almost like you're gonna have to go on like a I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Stay there. Sarah. To me it feels like it's really important to address some difficult truths that are happening right now. You don't want to do it because you don't want to mess up the potential of having a really good life and a good love life. But what I'm sensing here is that if you don't address these certain truths, you might regret it later. And so it requires tremendous courage to get you back into a frame of mind where you do have the passion and the courage to say what has to be said, okay? To bring out any difficulties that need to be discussed, okay? So it's almost like with the Eight of Wands, it looks to me like deliberately going into one of those self-healing, self-encouragement programs. Like, I know what to do here. I know what to do and how to do it. This is how I deal with very challenging things that really scare me at my heart. I kind of turn myself into almost like a fearless warrior type of thing. And I act as if I have courage, even though I don't. In other words, I acknowledge the fear, I face the fear, I'm aware of the fear, but I do it anyway, okay? I go into it anyway, and that takes a huge amount of courage, okay? So I don't know how to do that for you, because that's what you're going to have to do. You have to find the courage to say what has to be said up front. You know, it might be issues to do with family members, or you and your partner, or you and your fiance, or your fiance with you. Certain things need to be addressed, okay? It takes great courage, because you might be scared that if you address things that are perhaps uncomfortable, or truths that are going to be ignored, you might lose everything, okay? So I understand that. All I'm suggesting is, like, find ways to get strong, to build up your inner strength, to build up your inner courage, so that you have the strength and the boldness to say what has to be said. Bring it out there, bring it on, take deep breaths, and make those really, really bold moves. And I think those, again, are going to be associated with the timing of the eclipses. So you might have to time these things very carefully, okay? Okay? Courage. Courage, okay, Sarah? You can do it. You have to do it, okay? It's going to take courage. Okay? A wedding is very important. It's a legally binding thing. You can't afford to just leave things aside and hope nobody ever talks about it or it doesn't become a problem. Now is the time to address these things. Okay? Thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, you can say thank you to Topaz. And thank you, Topaz, for giving Sarah her lucky reading. Okay, here we go. So I hope that makes sense to you, Sarah. I hope you get something out of that. And now we're going to move on to Starzy. Starzy is going to get basically a freebie. Hey, Starzy, are you still here? You still here, Starzy? Because you're going to get a freebie, a birthday reading. Yay! Let's have a look here. And let's have a look here. Okay, got that sorted out. All right, Starzy, what's going on? What are the birthday messages that are coming to you through the Tarot Lumination channel right now? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I just got to clear this up. Hold on. I like having a really nice pristine deck when I do these things. I just got this funny feeling, Starzy. It's almost like you popped into the reading here, and I felt this little kind of like a little girl type of thing, like, oh, this is so cool. I get my own birthday mini reading. Yay! There it is. Yay! Yay! As Starzy gets her own birthday mini reading. Whatever it says, it's going to be good. Even if the message is horrible and challenging and depressing and confusing, it's still good for you. Because it's a present from heaven. I do that to myself all the time. I'm constantly challenging myself. I'm doing it like this. I'll show you what I do frequently, Starzy. It's like, so Starzy, what I do sometimes, what it tends to do, it tends to accelerate and amplify and enhance the process of evolution, adaptation, and growth. It just means you have to be willing to handle what comes at you. So what I do is I kind of do like a little invocation, like dear heaven, dear divine angels, dear invisible friends, dear support, dear guardians, dear minders, please bring to me that which is mine. All of it, whatever it is, a thought, a feeling, a responsibility, an obligation, a dream, a treasure, something, whatever it is, please bring to me that which is mine. And please take away from me that which is not mine. So I can live my life, okay, in full authenticity, in full splendor, okay? Who's that? Earth Angel Tarot and Therapies. Hello. Greetings. Anyway, so Starzy, that's kind of what I'm sensing here before we even started your reading. Here we go. So what are the messages? Like, let's bring it on, okay, Starzy? Let's have a look. Please bring to Starzy that which is Starzy's. And please take away from Starzy that which is not Starzy's. Okay? That is my wish for you, Starzy. And when you do that, you activate the forces of evolution to work in your favor. Even though some of the experiences that come to you might be challenging, it's still all part of your path and growth and evolution, which ultimately leads you to more and more joy in life. How you define joy is your own business, though, okay? Let's have a look. Let's see what happens here. Hold on, give me a second. I thought I was there, but I'm not. I'm being very gentle here right now. Give me a second. Greetings from Queen of Water. Oh, I know what you're doing, Queen. That's your channel, right? Earth Angel Tarot and Therapies. That's you. Is that you, Queen of Water? Here we go. Let's have a look. All right, here we go. I'm going to do a super gentle, even split because the cards are very well shuffled. And let's see what we got here. Bless this deck, bless every single card. Bless you, Starzy, for being here. Bless the channel, bless the lights, the cameras, the electricity, the internet, the platform, everything that allows us to do what we do here, how we do it. And let's ask for the healing power of love to fill our lives from up above. Happy birthday. Here's the situation, here's the challenges, here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at circumstantial energy surrounding the situation. Okay. So with the King of Pentacles here, to me this feels like, you know, we were talking about King of Pentacles earlier in someone else's reading. I'm not really looking at this as a person. I'm feeling this as an energy. And to me it feels like it's a very, very powerful but very, very gentle message that, like, dear Starzy, it's really, really, really important that you start to put yourself first. It doesn't mean that you're mean or selfish or an egomaniac or a narcissist. It's really, really time to put yourself first. Allow yourself to value yourself. Allow yourself to be valued by creating your sense of self-worth from the inside. And over time, that will feel like growth and abundance and evolution to you. Again, love is as love does. One of the hardest decisions all day, every day, is to do the most loving thing in that moment. Sometimes being very loving is painful. It's very hard to do. It doesn't always mean you're like sentimental and happy and lovey-dovey and gooey and like you're living off ice cream all day. It's not like that. All I'm suggesting here is that it's time for you to, it's almost like get into your power, get into your own wealth, and that can only happen from inside, okay? To me, this looks like a very powerful masculine archangel type of energy that is supporting you and wants you to know that they are there for you, but they can't help you unless you make the decision to help yourself and allow your, basically put on the crown, wear the crown of wealth and abundance, okay, and leadership and self-respect and dignity that is required to live at this level, okay? It's a very tough message, it's a very hard message, but it's a very important message to you, okay, Starzy? Here's the situation. Okay, so with the Three of Swords, I don't know if you're lamenting some kind of loss right now, or if it's just happened, or if it's happening in the moment, or you're scared that it might happen down the road. My feeling is that, like when I'm seeing this card, remember this is not a Cups card. This is actually a Swords card. And you might be in a situation right now where, this is going to sound really horrible, Starzy, like such a horrible message on a birthday reading. But to me it feels like it's really important that even if there's other people who have, let's say, posited great harm on you in life, it's time to like understand that you might be a victim. Maybe you have been a victim. Maybe you're still in victim mode. But from now on, it's very important to understand the energy of victimhood and how it's so easy to get trapped in the energy of victimhood, where you're constantly reliving the pain over and over again, and that becomes your identity. Being a victim becomes your identity. And then when somebody like the King of Pentacles, as an angelic energy, comes in and says, it's time for this to stop, Starzy. It's time for you to live in your dignity, in your self-respect, in your honor, in your wealth and abundance, and understand that victimhood is like a template. It's like a badge. Okay? If you are walking around in life subconsciously radiating this energy, you not even know it's happening. Like imagine that this is a badge, okay? Or like a post-it note that's stuck on your forehead, or like a logo that is stamped on one of your hoodies or t-shirts or something. And you're wearing this with pride, and you're not aware of the real meaning of what this means, and how it's almost like you are associating and identifying and condemning yourself to tragedy, betrayal, deception, losses, and lies. And that becomes your identity. And the only way to, let's say, get out of this is to understand, like with a very brutal, painful message that I'm having to deliver here for your birthday, is that it's time to take this badge away. Throw this badge away. Throw this logo away. Take that post-it note off your forehead. You know how those tricks you do in school, you take a post-it note and put it on someone's back. You slap them on the back saying, hey buddy, how are you doing today? But what you're actually doing is sticking a post-it note on someone's back, and the post-it note says, screw me over, kick me, I'm a loser, I'm a freak. Okay? You're not allowed to do that anymore. Check yourself, check your body, check your aura, and understand that this energy is very prominent and strong right now, and it needs to be acknowledged. Because if you're not aware of this, you can't do anything about it. You've got to reveal this to heal this. This needs healing. You need to reveal this. You need to openly understand and express that the energy of being a victim, or perhaps very badly traumatized and abused, has become templated into your existence, and it's time to stop. It is time to stop. What's the challenges here? Okay, so with the High Priestess here, my feeling is that you're terrified of like what lies ahead. Like, in other words, well, okay, great, Tarot Illumination. Thank you very much for your really tough, like, mean messages. And I know you're very well-meaning, Tarot Illumination, but this is a very tough message for me to handle because, remember, I have the characteristics of a victim. I wear this badge. And what you're telling me is I have to take this badge off? Well, the deep fear that you might have is, it's almost like the terror of figuring out, well, there's a mystery, like, what happens when who am I without this badge? Who am I? What am I? What is the mystery? What are the secrets that are going to be revealed when I take away this badge or I throw away this badge? It's almost too much to handle. The energy of mystery, the energy of the unknown, the energy of hidden secrets, the energy of divinity that lies behind and beyond the farewell to this badge, it's too frightening. And so it's almost like I, Starzy, am saying that I am so frightened of the unknown that I would rather just to keep the badge on. Thank you very much. And of course, with Tarot Illumination, you know that's... we're going to do everything to help you to get back to this. Let's have a look. How do we handle this? Okay, so with the Nine of Swords, with the Nine of Wands here, we have to understand, these are really tough messages, Starzy, you have to deliver. Number one, you have to understand that you are part of the equation of pain, suffering, betrayal, lies, loss, deception, pain, and over again. And then the second realization, like, oh my God, that is my identity. I have been betrayed. I have been hurt. I have been lied to. I have been deceived. And you could, project that all onto other people elsewhere, but you're part of that equation. And then you have to admit this very, very painful thing to the self and realize, oh my God, I've painted myself into this corner. I've done this unwittingly because it's so hard. Basically, it's hard work to have that much pain and live in it, that almost the only way to go forward is to turn it into a badge of honor, even though you're hurting yourself. And so my feeling here is realizing that and understanding is like, you still have the strength, okay, Starzy? You still have the strength and the courage to prevail here, almost against all odds. But you needed someone like Tarot Illumination to tell you. This is a very painful, very hard message for me to deliver to you, but it feels like it's a very valuable gift, so I hope you don't hold this against me personally. I'm just giving you the reading. To me, the message is very strong, very unambiguous, very clear here, that you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to almost fight against yourself, fight against the great fear of the unknown, and every time you take a step in the direction of this energy, you're going to be tempted to hide behind this badge so that you don't have to face the fear of the unknown. Does that make sense to you, Starzy? It's a very tough message, okay? It's a very tough message to deliver, but the beauty of the Nine of Wands here is that you can do this. You can handle this. Where there is a will, there is a way. You wouldn't have known or considered how to do this without a very blunt, clear, unambiguous message from Tarot Illumination. And sadly, I had to be the one to do it. But there, it is done. It is your gift. Happy birthday. Go Starzy. Go Starzy. Okay, everybody, like to me, this thing's like a group cheer, okay? To me, it feels like go Starzy, okay? Go Starzy. Go Starzy. You can do this. Rip off that badge. Rip off that badge. Rip off that logo. And turn the life around. One tiny little battle at a time. It means being a fighter, okay? You can do this, okay? More power to you, okay, Starzy? You got it? Yeah. Yeah. Understand the healing power of love is there with you all the time. It works best by invocation, okay? You ask for the healing power of love to fill your life from up above, okay? Okay. See, you're already getting support and reinterpretations from some people on the channel right now, so that's very good. You can reinterpret the spread and the reading however you want. I was just giving you the messages here. All right, Starzy, got it? Happy birthday. Cheers. Okay. Okay, I'm going to clean this up now. We're going to go to Robin's Realms. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the deck. Then we're going to move on to Robin's Realms. Okay. Wow, this has turned into a really productive, kind of a profound show as far as I'm concerned as a reader. I've been feeling really good, clear connections with the, let's say, clients who need readings. And I feel like it's working through me in a very clear, unambiguous way so that I can get the messages across very clearly without having to be, let's say, sucked into the heaviness of some of these readings. Because almost each reading here tonight has been actually kind of painful, kind of deep, unexpected, challenging, and very poignant, like going in really, really deep so that we can reveal it to heal it. That's what I've felt with each of these readings so far. All right, Robin, let's just shake it up here. So we've got a general reading for you. What's coming up for the next week? So this is perfect timing. We're getting you set up and aligned to take full advantage of the Pisces new moon, which is also amplified by the sun. We've got that, but also Neptune and Mercury, okay? And don't worry about Mercury being retrograde. See it as an advantage. See it as an opportunity to fix things that are extremely hard to fix, okay? Here we go. It's a really good time also, by the way, Robin, to turn into your divinity, to tune into your most high frequency connections with the great beyond, with your invisible friends, with angels, archangels, heaven, the healing power of love. This is a really, really good time for you to do that. So it might require a little bit of magic, a little bit of sorcery, a little bit of alchemy, but you've kind of got that vibe already. So it's just a question of like tuning in, okay? All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on, Robin. Actually, you know what? If you want to give me a second, Robin, I need a little bit of a refreshment. And I know exactly what I need. I'm going to play a little tune here. I'm going to play a really super upbeat girl power tune, okay? Just to keep the ladies happy. And time for, let's basically take a spontaneous break, okay? I'm going to play that song for Starzy for the birthday to try to cheer her up. And in the meantime, it'll take me a few minutes, but I'm going to get myself a little beverage, and I'll be right back, okay? So I hope you don't mind. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. We've got 2 more readings, okay? One for Topaz Zen and one for Lena, okay? So I'll go over here, and we'll get rolling, and we're going to play a song called Hey Oh. It's really about tapping into your girl power, okay? All right.
It was one of those days where everything goes wrong. My hair fell out, my heel broke off. I slept through my alarm. I missed the bus to night school. My stalker walked me home. I sprayed his face with mace and then he left me all alone. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. A lot of my relationships, they end up in the ditch. So I'm getting counseling for being an uncontrollable bitch. The doctor's pills he gave me, they make me trip and fall. So if you are the man you say you are, you love me flaws and all. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Massages and pedicures are great, but not solutions. The pets, the bags, the fancy racks are empty substitutions. What I really need is the man who throws me over his shoulder, takes me naked in the ocean, loving me when I'm older. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Getting tattoos on my ass and up and down my arms could get me into trouble, leaving me rejected. Then again, pretending I'm so pure and acting all demure is no guarantee that I will be accepted. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. Hey, we're gonna go out tonight. We're gonna dance the stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you.
Okay. Well, I'm back, and I just saw something on the screen. Patty Cakes pulled me a card. Very nice. Thank you, Patty Cakes. Hold on. Cheers, everybody. What a great evening. I'm really glad I came onto the show tonight. I'm really glad we're here. I know it's a tiny crowd, but it's been a very, a really profound evening for me, coming up with these messages that are actually, I would say, kind of awkward, very difficult, diplomatically very challenging for me to deliver to you guys. But we're doing it anyway, because you got to reveal it to heal it. Someone's got to call it out. Anyway, so Patty Cakes pulled the Hermit for Tarot Lumination, seeking wisdom, okay? And a long distance Reiki, okay? Hey Lena, yes, I am still making music, but it's a question of like time and money. I work on like microscopic budgets here with as Tarot Lumination in my whole life, and I don't know how to fix it, and so I just, you know, I have a bunch of songs that I want to work on, Lena, but the way I want to do them, some of them require me having to work with a producer, and my producer guy is awesome, but I have to pay him, okay? And he's giving me incredibly good rates, but it's money that I have to come dig out from somewhere somehow. So that puts a kind of a little bit of a restraint on how much music I can do and how I can do it. And so that's one thing to take into account. And like, it's a question of priorities, because I love doing the music. I would love to do lots more music. It's just the realities is that for me to do the music the way I want to do it, the way it needs to be done, I need the time, I need the money to pay the producer. That's just how it is. Certain material I can do on my own. I can just do an acoustic song, but certain songs, they need production. Especially the songs that I'm working on now. I want to do a lot of production work, like really good beats, really good sounds, really motivating energy stuff that you would do it like in a very inspiring, like fitness class or a yoga class or like a concert that would lifts people up, you know. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you, Lena. Money vibes deeply accepted. Okay. Patty cakes, long distance Reiki. Okay. So, cheers, everybody. All right. I'm working on it, Lena. It's just time and energy. It's the time, money. It's the same thing with everybody. It's the time, money equation. Where do I get the time? Where do I get the money? I have the talent. I have a gift in that regard. I'm very proud of that gift, but being able to, let's say, tap into it, oh man, it's hard, you know. All right, so here we go. Robin, I'll just put this slightly over here. What kind of message do we have for Robin coming up for the next week or two? Let's say 2 weeks, okay? We're going to plant the seed now for the new moon, okay? I know technically speaking we are a little bit ahead of it, but I have to tell you, Robin, in my personal experience, sometimes I have had advantageous outcomes from tapping into the new moon energy just a little bit before the typical astrologers like to tell you how to do it. I tend to come in a little bit more ahead of the normal curve where you jump on the wave. It just takes it takes a little bit of courage, it takes a little bit of risk, and it takes a little bit of trust. So that's what I'm sensing here for you, Robin. That's kind of how we're working here. We're tapping into the energy of the new wave, the new moon energy for the next 2 weeks, and we're riding with it now. We're getting you aligned, okay? All right, looks like this. What kind of messages do we have for Robin? I just felt an energy of excitement from you, Robin. Like this kind of doing this kind of stuff, it really thrills you. You really get off on this stuff. Okay, what's the situation? What are the challenges here? And how we're going to handle it? Let's have a look at the energy surrounding the situation. I call it the weather. Okay, the Queen of Wands. Okay, this feels to me like a reminder, just a very gentle reminder. Dear Robin, please understand that when you're operating at these frequencies where you're already naturally gifted, you're already a reader, you're already a healer, You've got certain gifts, resources, and talents and responsibilities to uphold. And sometimes it's a burden to wear the crown. Imagine, there's a lot of stuff in the news about like the Queen of England and her family getting all kind of broken apart because of the young ones wanting to go off and do their own thing. And sometimes being a queen, maintaining the queen energy, requires a lot of self-respect and dignity in a very, very refined way, okay? Such that she can maintain her posture, her dignity, her demeanor, and sometimes do what has to be done. Like in the way the Queen of England is telling her kids, her grandkids that, you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever. But she's not trying to hurt them. She's just doing her job, okay? It's actually, I don't know if you've been watching or heard of that series on Netflix called The Crown, but it's actually a very, very tough job. The way I look at it, it's a really, really tough job to be the Queen of England. And a lot of people think, oh, she's just spoiled. She just inherited it, and she's mega billionaire, and she didn't have to do anything. But there's more to it than that. And I think that's kind of what the message is here. Like, it's really important that for you to know, Robin, that you're surrounded by the energy of regal posture, and you have to maintain that. Like in your world, in your life, you still have to be like Queen Robin, no matter what it takes. Even if you have to deliver really tough messages, it's important that you maintain the dignity, the stature, and the honor, and the role, R-O-L-E, of the Queen, okay? The hat. Look at the hat, okay? You wear the hat. It's almost like you're wearing the uniform. I don't know if you've ever heard about that or thought about that, Robin, but how we dress ourselves, how we adorn ourselves is often a message about how we tell the world to look at us and to treat us. And I'm not saying dress up like a queen. All I'm suggesting is here, make sure that you maintain this kind of regal aura in a very, very feminine, dignified way, and you don't apologize, okay? What's the situation? Okay, we had the Page of Swords here in another reading in the same position. So, my feeling is that with the Page of Swords here for you, to me this amplifies what I'm talking about here, where it's time for you to put yourself in a leadership situation where you're going to have to be tough. You're going to have to play the role of a leader doing what they have to do in order to maintain structure, stability, civility in their world. And sometimes that means saying things that need to be said that you would rather not say. In other words, it would be so much nicer and much more fun if everybody could just love you because you're so cool. You're like, oh, you're the Queen Robin. Oh, cool. But actually, it's a really tough job. Okay? And all I'm suggesting right now is that it's even tougher than usual, because it's like you are being called upon to express the truth, remind people of the truth, and live in the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or awkward that might be. And when I talk about the truth, I'm not talking about your truth or the truth of someone else or subjective truth. I'm talking about universal truth, unambiguous truth. In other words, truth that cannot be argued. Universal truth like the sun will come up tomorrow. Okay? like the seasons. You're going to head into summer soon. That is a fact. That is a universal truth. The earth rotates around the sun. People didn't used to know that, but now they know. It is a universal truth. Everybody knows that the earth rotates around the sun, and that's just how it is. You might not like it, but that's how it is. Anyway, what are the challenges here of maintaining the energy of sovereignty of self, and at the same time having to be the messenger of messages that not everybody wants to hear? Okay, more swords. Okay, my feeling, didn't this something like this happen in an earlier reading? Am I getting confused here? I can't see the action replays right now. But I know we had a Six of Swords here in this place in a reading as well. I don't remember if it was this reading or the parallel reading, but okay, with you in this situation, my feeling is that there is a deep, deep reluctance inside of you right now to speak the truth, live the truth, maintain the truth, and do it with a sense of dignity and respect. Because there are a lot of people in your world who might not like the truth. Okay? And so there's like this wish, there's this fear. I just wish I could get out of the situation. I just wish I could deliver messages that were like, half-baked messages, or like messages like, oh, I'll get back to you on this one, or just check in with me later on this one. And there's a deep message of having to deliver the messages that need to be delivered and then moving on with life in the world. And there's a deep message, a deep feeling here that you would rather not be the messenger. It's almost like, I wish I didn't have to wear the crown. I wish I didn't have to maintain all this inspirational energy here and this energy of sovereignty of self and live in this energy field of being like Queen Robin. Because sometimes it's a really shitty job, okay? And now there's this deep fear of like, what happens if what happens when I commit to my sovereignty of self and live in my honor and dignity, and I say what has to be said, I do what has to be done, and people don't like it. And then, am I going to be ostracized? Are people going to tell me to F off and go away? To me, it feels like an escape energy, like you really wish you could escape from some of your duties and responsibilities right now, and just move on with a very, very simple life and just leave everybody and everything behind, and you could just go on with a very, very simple life. But you can't. So how are we going to deal with this? Ace of Swords. Look at this. Swords on swords on swords. Okay, so with the Ace of Swords here, my feeling is that this whole new moon is about new starts and new beginnings for you in terms of living the truth, talking the truth, walking the talk. In other words, living by example, and like, even if people in your world don't appreciate or like or enjoy the fact that you are, let's say, Queen Robin, you do it anyway. And then when you do it anyway, it's like, it's time for me, Robin, to assert myself and carry myself with more dignity, more self-respect, more truth, more courage, more knowledge, more wisdom than ever before. And that becomes my trump card. That becomes my strength. And it's a little bit intimidating at first, and then all of a sudden it becomes quite humbling for other people, and they start to realize, oh my God. They look at you, they really realize, oh my God, I didn't realize how hard it was for you to be Robin. I'm so sorry we maybe lashed out at you, or maybe wished that you didn't have to be Queen Robin in our world. But instead you turn it around, you flip the whole energy around, you take advantage of the Mercury retrogrades, you take advantage of Sun in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and you turn it into your favor so that you don't have to be frightened, you don't have to feel like you wish you could run away. You face into the truth with great courage, great dignity, great self-respect, and then let others figure out how to deal with that, okay? In other words, it's not your problem how other people respond to you. Your job right now, your mission, your purpose is to live in your maximum state of sovereignty and dignity and self-respect. Speak the truth, live the truth, honor the truth, demand the truth. And if anyone else can't handle that, that's their problem. It's not yours, okay? It just takes courage to do that. Yet again, this is another really difficult message to deliver. I hope it makes sense to you, Robin, and you can get something out of this starting next week for the next few weeks or so. And that this makes more sense at the end of when you come to the full moon, okay? Wait a minute, I just saw something on the screen. It says, I'm creating a new line of elemental incense. Kaboom! New starts, new beginnings. Incense can trigger like mental, spiritual, psychic awareness and expansion. So good on you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back over here a second. Hey, Robin. That was a lot of fun. I have to do something a minute. Hold on. Give me a second here. I got to play a little bit of music to get me integrated because we're going to read for Lena in a moment, but I need another break. Okay, so hold on, people. I want to do something a little bit more sort of gentle. Hold on. right, let's have a look now. I have to go clean up the stage here a little bit. I got to clear out the deck. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I hope you're all happy and well entertained. Let's have a look here. Okay, Lena, what's going on with you? Let's have a look. Lena, if I remember, there's a strong Virgo energy in your life, being you, I think. And of course, at this time of year, you might be feeling a lot of pressure in the form of opposition, because we have a big Piscean opposition coming up for you right now. Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Neptune, all in Pisces. So you might be putting a big smile on it, but on the other hand, you might be feeling a lot of pressure. Almost like feeling like you're being, it's almost like the feeling of being blocked. Whatever way you go, whatever you think, whatever you do, like there's huge walls, huge doors, huge like gateways or fences that stop you from going where you want to go and being who you want to be and how you want to do it. And all I'm suggesting is that don't take it personally. I don't know how else to tell you. Don't take it personally. In other words, like, take advantage of what are you sensing, what are you feeling from the reflections coming to you from, let's say, a handful of maybe 3 or 5 or 7 very significant people in your life right now. Maybe 3 to 5 people. In other words, relationship dynamics might be quite challenging right now, okay? But there's a lot that can be learned, okay? Oh, hold on, I'm just seeing your notes. Stay there, hold on, Lena. It says, what is it? I'm going to the actor's debut show of his band, okay. He is grateful because I was a huge inspiration and he loves me, but he has trust issues and is unhealthy for me, okay. So I want to know what's best for both of us, okay. You don't want to hurt him. He probably doesn't want to hurt you, okay. Okay, because he's sweet and so on, okay. Well, at least, Lena, at least you're like being really like, you know, direct with yourself, okay? Good, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, let's have a look. We're going to turn this into a situational, this is a situational spread that we're going to use, but we're going to, it sounds to me like you want to deal with it specifically in the context of this particular relationship. It may not be, because it sounds like you've already got an understanding here. So this message that's coming through might be something bigger or something different than the exact relationship that you're talking about right now. But yes, maybe there are karmic lessons that can be learned. Luckily, Lena, you're pretty smart and you're very advanced in these things anyway, with understanding the spirituality, so that you're less and less likely to be a victim and more likely to enjoy the love in the moment, at the platonic sense, the spiritual sense, without not necessarily having to get damaged in the three-dimensional physical realities of, you know, how human relationships play out. Wow, I finished my little beverage already. Wow. Okay, here we go, Lena. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There's another note here, and it says, Lena, no green effects. Yes, and Pisces rising. Oh, okay. So it sounds to me you're talking about, yes, Chair Illumination, I do have a Virgo placement. It's probably the sun. But I'm also letting you know and everybody know that you have Pisces rising. In which case, this is a very important time of the year for you. Especially because it's a new moon in Pisces coming up. So you're already dealing with this in a very smart way, okay? In a very mature, a very, very mature way. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Let's cut it up. I'm going to be very, very balanced here. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's look at the weather. Now this could be anything, Lena. All right, so be prepared. Okay, with the Five of Swords here, my feeling is that you're in a situation that's kind of awkward to handle, very difficult to handle, especially when it comes to communications between yourself and a significant other, or yourself and anyone else, okay? It might be showing in this particular relationship that you're talking about because you've written, a fair number of lines on the screen here. But it could actually relate to every aspect of life and relationships right now, where, let's put it both sides. Like, if you're in a situation where you're feeling like you're going to have to call out the truth, speak the truth, and deliver a message that's probably not going to go down very well, then so be it. And if that triggers a retaliation from the other persons or the other person, then so be it. In other words, let's just say, following up from your notes on the screens here, like, let's just say you decide to deliver a message. Like, it's one thing for you to type it on the screen here, like, oh, I'm going to have to call it off. I've been an inspiration to him, and that's great, but you know that this has to end. It's one thing for you to type it here on the screen and share it with us, but it's a very different thing to deliver that message to that person, that man. And so, in terms of, like, this is not an emotional card here, but in terms of the way communications work, it could be like, I'm going to be very blunt here. It's like, it could go down very poorly in such a way like, oh, well, if you don't love me, you don't want me, then fuck you. You're basically telling me, fuck you, I'm off out of here. I'm Lena, and this happened for a reason, and so on and so on. Lena, you can see all the good stuff, and you can understand it, and you're coming from a very spiritual perspective. But that might not be their perspective. Their perspective might be as though they're deeply offended, and they would interpret your energy as like you are, oh, I'm superior. And like, I'm just doing what, in other words, it's like, but, and the message that you know that you have to deliver is probably not going to go down very well, but you already know that. And so I think with the Five of Swords here is like, to me, it's like a reminder. Please be aware that when you deliver the messages that you know you have to deliver, the chances are that it's not going to be well received and that you could get some backlash. In other words, almost like a fuck you backlash. It might not even be an active, open fuck you. It could be a very subtle, oh, thanks, Lena. Bye. Yeah, thank you so much. And then they turn around and like, fuck you. You know? That type of energy. So just be aware. But that's not your problem, okay? All I'm sensing here is that this is a message from your invisible friends that doing what you have to do to be Lena and be in your truth, it might not go down very well with someone else or somebody or that particular person. But that's not your problem. That's their problem. Okay? You still have to be Lena. What's the situation here? Okay, with the Seven of Wands here, my feeling is that you didn't expect any of this to happen, and you're wishing it didn't happen, and you're wishing it didn't have to happen, and there might be all sorts of feelings like, why did I even bother in the first place? Like, if there's a sense of backlash where you end up having to defend yourself for being who you are and speaking the truth, it's almost like, how did I get into this? Why me? I'm pure, I'm Lena, I'm innocent, I only come from love. It's very simple, it's direct, it's very pure, it's highly concentrated. And yet, you're trapped in a battle. It's like, to me, it feels like it's a battle that you can't win. It's a battle that they can't win. And so really, the situation is really all about more or less kind of like defending yourself right now. In other words, just please continue to be Lena. Know that you're in a potentially very delicate, awkward, contentious situation that could backfire on you, and that you don't back down. You face the challenges. You face perhaps things like criticism or judgment or challenges that come at you for you just speaking and living in your truth, knowing that it might not be well received. What's the problem with all of this? Okay, with the Four of Swords here, you remember we were talking about how you're seeing this as a karmic message, maybe some kind of karmic healing thing. To me, it feels like, okay, you've got to reveal it to heal it. And the challenge is, it's very hard for yourself, but probably much harder for the other persons to see this as part of a karmic lesson and a karmic healing process. And there is a deep fear of having to go into it, and a fear of having to look at this as a healing, as a karmic lesson. Not so much for you, but for some other people, okay? Partly for you. And there's an actual, like again I was saying earlier, it's okay to talk about this here at Tarot Lumination and discuss it, but actually to do what has to be done, for you to deliver messages that might be unwelcome, and for you to face the challenges that come with you being an inspiration to an artist and a performer and a singer, and then that flipping around on you, that could make it very difficult for you to see this as a karmic healing event, because you might get overwhelmed by things like retaliation or resentment or fuck you kind of energy, where like where did that all come from? Like, I'm just being Lena. Where did that come from? I mean, the guy might be a perfectly decent fellow, but guys don't like rejection typically. And if they feel like undermined or disrespected or rejected, they could challenge you. And then it makes it so much harder to treat this as a karmic lesson, as a growing experience that's good for you and it's good for them. So how are we going to deal with this properly? Okay, with the Nine of Pentacles here, my feeling is that it's really important that you stay in the energy of Lena, the Virgo energy of being very pure, very well intended, with no harm intended, and that you don't even have to tell anybody about this. You just stay in your dignity, you maintain your independence, your womanhood, and all the work and spiritual energy that you've spent in lifetimes to get to be this way, and that you stay this way. And if other people can't handle it, that's their problem. It's not your problem. Your job here with this message is to be you. Basically kind of living your truth. It's almost like living out the notes that you had on the screen, knowing that there's going to be a challenge. It's almost like when you have to reject someone because you know it's the right thing for your spiritual journey. It's almost like it would be so nice not to, because sometimes it's so nice to have like a love relationship or something that's working, or it looks like it's working, that you ignore the truth, you ignore the things that aren't working. But that's actually a form of like deep disrespect of self, and you can't do that here. You've worked too hard, too long, for too many lifetimes, and in this lifetime, to waste all this bounty and wealth and abundance that you have built and worked for and earned for yourself. Okay? And if other people can't handle it, that's their problem. Okay? All right, Lena? I'm being really kind of tough with you here because I feel like I have to, because it looks like you might have problems, or basically if you have to cut off the relationship or gracefully move away from the relationship. It's almost like I wish I didn't have to do this. But if you know that you have to do it, then you have to do it, and you have to maintain your individual, like, see, when I see the pentacles here, and I'm seeing this very much like a love reading, you stay in your loving energy of what you know genuine loving energy is like. I'm not talking about sexual or romantic or soap opera or, hormonal or drama type relationships. I'm talking about something of substantial. You need to maintain your standards and maintain your sovereignty and maintain your individuality, and not allow that to be undermined by feeling like you wish you didn't have to deliver this message, or feeling like you wish you didn't have to call it off. You do what has to be done, and you don't apologize, okay? And then you discover it, and then you learn about the healing afterwards, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Alright, so what's going on, people? Let me just check. Hey, Jeffrey! Yo, Jeffrey! So that's pretty much the end of the show. I don't think I can handle any more. I feel so lucky that we had a super chat show. I wasn't even planning it, but I'm very, very pleased. I'm very happy. All I want to do actually is just remind people that there is a lucky draw right now. Let me go back. Hi, Lena. Lena, let me just clean up here. Lena, I hope that made sense to you. I hope you get something out of it, all right? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I have a feeling. But again, this was a very awkward reading for me to deliver, Lena. I hope you understand. Don't take it personally. I'm just trying to help, okay? There we go. Yo, Jeffrey, hi. I'm just wrapping things up. This whole little show here tonight, it started as a promotional thing. You've already got some tickets, all right, Jeffrey, so don't worry. There's only a few people left here at the moment. Let me just see. And you didn't even get a notification. That shows you how much YouTube sucks right now. My channel has been so completely undermined by the ways YouTube works right now that it's on basically, I'm just lucky that anybody shows up to any of these videos or live streams at all. Anyway, I don't want to get sucked into the negative vibes. I'm very happy that we can do this. Thank you, Jeffrey, for just showing up randomly. That's pretty freaking cool. And thank you for letting me know that you did not get any notification. It kind of makes my blood boil, because what it's doing is validating what I suspected about YouTube all along. And it's not a very, very good evaluation. Anyway, I'm just clearing the deck, Lena. Thank you very much. And we're just going to wrap it up. Okay. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to come back to this in a moment. You know what that is, of course. Meanwhile, let's just go over here. Hey Jeffrey, what's going on? It's like evening over here. It's nighttime. It's probably very late at night for you guys. But I just came on a couple of hours earlier because I'm doing a last call for the lucky draw tickets. I don't see that anyone else has bought anymore, so I'm basically going to wrap it up. At the end of the lunar cycle here, I'm just going to say enough is enough is enough. We've sold the tickets that we're going to sell, and it's probably too late now for anyone else to buy tickets. And I'm just going to do the lucky draw soon. The lucky draw will be pretty much just like this, and I'll try and give people a heads up notice, like a day in advance and a time of day. And we're going to do the actual lucky draw, and somebody is going to win a full-on personal reading. Some of you have tickets already, some people don't. If you want a ticket, hold on. Okay, that was the whole point about this video in the first place. It's the last call for the lucky draw. If anybody wants to buy tickets and you haven't got them yet, I know a bunch of you have already bought your tickets. There is a link underneath this video, or you can just go to terralumination.com and it takes you straight to the place where you can buy the tickets. And then we go from there. But in the next week or so, we're going to have the lucky draw, and somebody will win, and then Terra Lumination will schedule with the winner, and they will have their full-on complex private in-person reading with Terra Lumination. Okay, here we go. That's it. Okay, the job is done, and we're going to sign off right now. Let me just check in with the screen, see who else is there. So Jeff came in. Jeff said good night. Hello and goodbye, Jeff. Toodaloo. Yeah, we're just wrapping it up here. I'm already tired. We've been going a few hours. I didn't even expect we were going to go this big or this long. So I feel kind of at a bit of a loose end at the moment, at this very moment in time. But if everyone's okay, if there's no more remaining like traumatic issues or serious things that we need to take care of right now, I will go ahead and wrap up the show, and we'll all connect again in the near future, okay? So I'm just going to sit here for a second, just for a few seconds, a few moments, to see if anyone's got any last minute issues, but I think we should be okay. That's a wrap. Yes, that's a wrap. Okay, let's just leave it at that. That's a wrap. We've already done a fantastic job. We've already gone above and beyond expectations, and I feel that's what happened for me anyway. I'm very pleased. Thank you all so much for being here, and I hope you get your notifications for the lucky draw, which will be soon. Okay? I'm going to go on to a little bit of a checkout here, if you don't mind, and play some bye-bye music. Okay? So, how about this? Bear with me. I'm going to put on this little tune and then say goodbye.